Hey guys, it's Bob Ferngren, and I'm back with another 8-minute video on network marketing. And these videos are all about, right now, this series of videos is all about the seasonality, the season that we're in. As I'm recording this series, we're between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Certainly the two most important holidays of the year for everyone, but they're actually only 2 days. It's not Christmas month or Thanksgiving month, it's Christmas Day, right? And as I've been sharing with you in this series of videos, the most important, the busiest time of year in all of network marketing is January through April. A lot of reasons for that, but I think the number one reason is New Year's resolutions. Now, what does that mean? And this can relate completely across the board. There are all sorts of companies with products that help people with New Year's resolutions. There's weight loss products, and there's energy products, and there's various oils and potions and lotions, and there's even other companies that have travel. People, once the world gets back to the new normal, which hopefully is the old normal, just better, travel will become extremely popular. I mean, I expect that to be terrific for the next couple of years. Health-related products, there's a whole variety of products that you could pretty much put into the New Year's resolutions batch. Well, probably the most important ones relate to people's personal finances. If you were to look at the top 10 New Year's resolutions, I think almost half of them relate to finances. Get out of debt. Spend more time with family. Well, how does that relate to finances? Well, the reason most people aren't spending enough time with their family is they're chasing the almighty dollar and working 2 and 3 jobs, side hustles like Uber and Lyft. So why would you want to spend more time with your family? Well, the only way you're going to be able to do that is that you're using money for time freedom. So it could be other things like, getting control of your budget. It could be other things like, oh, you just woke up. That successful people have multiple streams of income. They're not counting on any one source. I think people are really, really getting awake right now that whether it's a job or what governments are calling non-essentials, what a horrible, horrible, vile term for someone who has a small business, calling it non-essential. That's vile. But that's the government, I guess. So there's people financially who are saying and praying and wishing and hoping that this new year brings new ways to get that stress out of their life. I mean, I live in a state that's a free state, not under lockdowns, but I know so many people are under lockdowns. And it's heartbreaking, man, watching that gym owner and he's saying he's going to continue to stay open and getting fined $15,000 a day in an environment where you can get healthier. It's tough out there, okay? So, we have a situation, we have a crisis, but we as network marketers have solutions. Listen, it's never, I just don't ever believe it's ever going to get softer for people understanding that working from home is a pretty good idea. And the only overhead I have is this smartphone. So one of the triggers why January through April is so important is people just, every now and then, they're willing to face reality. Now, most people won't stick with that. That. Most people won't stick with facing reality because they perceive it to be too hard to face it. Well, in fact, it gets worse. When you don't face reality, like you're in debt, and you don't face it and decide to do something about it, it gets worse, right? Interest doesn't go away. When you're working in an environment where you're treated less than, you're paid less than, and you have less than a future, do you think staying there? Now, I'm not telling you to quit anything right now, but I'd probably find a plan. And to me, working a network marketing business is the average American's best shot at having an above average life. So it doesn't get better by not working a plan and staying there. I mean, if you think about any situation, when you face the problems and you decide to take the change, and that's why I think and I believe that New Year's resolutions have an important part, because for whatever reason, people won't stop long enough to identify their current reality and then decide some new goals and then to put some plans behind that. And then they look up in 3 months, 6 months, a year, or 3 years, they're in a completely different place. So it forces some people to face reality. Well, it forces everybody, I think. I mean, I think everybody has the idea that next year is going to be better. A few people not only have the idea, they act on it. That's why it's better. So that's why I've been imploring you to make sure that everyone knows what you do, why you're doing it, and where you're going. If you think about that, if everyone knew that whether they write down New Year's resolutions or they just think, man, I got to do something. 2021 has to be better. They're thinking that way. And then, boom, here comes a message from you. Or, boom, here comes a phone call from you. Or, boom, you run into them in church or school or your job. You run into that person that's been on your list and you act on the moment. You act on the moment and let them know what you're doing, where you're going, and why you're doing it, and just inviting them to come see more. You see, that's why you need to be in action now. Action now can lead to your best year ever. So don't blow off New Year's resolutions. Don't think that's just a silly thing. Don't buy into, well, almost everybody's going to quit. Sure, almost everybody quits everything, but you don't have to. What if your New Year's resolutions involved making sure that you have written goals tied to your important purpose, and then you acted on it doing something every day? You think life might be different for you? I think it would be. I think so many of you would be in the winner's circle by April and May if you were in action today. It would blow your mind. But hey, we're still on the proactive side of January. We're still on the proactive side of January. Proactive people tend to be the most successful people by far. Hey, let's go. Okay.